Hello and welcome to another video by SERUpractice.com. What we have here today is a very good example of a tunnel-based question. If you're trying to get a PHV driver's license, it means that you need to pass a topographical route planning assessment. And as many of you might already know, that in your topographical route planning assessment, there will be at least one tunnel-based question. Therefore, this question is of huge importance. In this video today, we are going to solve one of the tunnel-based question example. It is the one which is very common to appear in many of the topographical exams. So let's begin. We need to plot a direct route from Corbetts Lane SE16, which is our green marker right here, to Brodlove Lane E1, which is our red marker right here. So as always, let's start by drawing a straight line. Now, first thing to decide is that how do we know if it is a tunnel-based question, right? I tell my students all the time that whenever you come across a question in which you have to cross a river, that means it is either a bridge-based question or a tunnel-based question. What do I mean by that is, for example, suppose if we had our green marker somewhere here and our red marker somewhere here, that means we need to go from this side of the city, from south towards north. And that means we need to cross the river. In this particular scenario, if the question was like this, then our preference obviously would have been to choose either this bridge or maybe this bridge, depending upon which one was closer to us. And this appears a lot closer. But right here, as you can see, that we still have to cross the river, but we can also see there is a tunnel right here. So while we have something very close to our straight line, which I always put my emphasis on, that when you are planning your route, you should try to stick to your direct line as much as possible. And you can see that we have a tunnel here. So instead of choosing any bridges, we will take a tunnel for such type of question. So our first step was to draw a straight line, and we know that we also have a tunnel in coinciding exactly across our line. Let's start planning our route. For a tunnel based question, what my recommendation is that we should first of all get an idea about which particular tunnel is it. Does this tunnel has tunnel approach road? If yes, where does it lead to? And how can I go from my green marker to the tunnel approach road first? So let's divide this much longer and complicated route into smaller sections so that we can solve it more easily. And in the process, it should make more sense to you. So first of all, let's explore all of these areas. I have removed that straight line so that you can see the tunnel more clearly. The name of this tunnel is Rotherhite Tunnel. It is basically a two-way road inside a tunnel, which means the direction of traffic is from both sides, and it lies on Express A101. Now, we know that Rotherhite Tunnel has a tunnel approach road at both of its ends. So for example, right here you can see there is a tunnel approach road, and when the tunnel ends on the northern side, there is also a tunnel approach road. I want to signify here the importance of tunnel approach road by telling you all that if a tunnel has a tunnel approach road, then that tunnel approach road is normally the only way in and out of that tunnel. Once you are inside the tunnel, it is just like any other normal road. But to reach or arrive into that tunnel or to exit out of that tunnel, you need tunnel approach road. Since we need to drive from south to north, and this is our tunnel approach road that we will take to go inside Rotherhite Tunnel. So it makes sense that we will start from here and first try to arrive at this tunnel approach road, which is very closer to this roundabout. So maybe we can do something of a route from here, arrive at this roundabout, and then take this tunnel approach road. Then, as I previously mentioned, once you're inside the tunnel, it is just like any other road. You can just cross it straight, and somehow we need to arrive at this point because it is also tunnel approach road. And then our final objective will be to arrive here. While there can be multiple ways of doing it, we will try to find the route which is most optimum, least long, and most direct possible route. For that sake, let's start planning our route. So right now, as you can see, we are here at Corbetts Lane, and we can see, excuse me, let it load for just a minute. So I think it makes sense that we can take this street to get onto the highway, then expressway, and then we can continue in this direction to go on the expressway, continue straight here to reach the roundabout, and then get on the tunnel approach road. It was not that difficult. Now, once inside the tunnel, we will cross the Rotherhite Tunnel, get on to this area, and then use this tunnel approach road to arrive here. Here we have two choices. You can either take commercial road, A13 expressway, and then maybe use some of this area to arrive down on Brodlove Lane, but you will have to face a lot of problems because this Brodlove street right here is also one way, so you cannot come from this side. So also it appears much longer. We also have another alternative route which is much shorter, that we take Butcher's Road, come back on the highway, and then enter Brodlove Street. I can completely understand that maybe for many of you it does not make sense that how exactly we will navigate ourselves through this area. So first I want to show you topographical route rules in which there are symbols for different things displayed on the maps. It will help you identify these things on the map more easily. So what I have here on the screen is topographical route rules. This is something that we teach our students in one-on-one training for topographical route assessment. Because once you understand each of these rules and what they mean on the map, then it becomes easier for you to pass your topographical route planning assessment, because then it becomes very easy for you to understand the maps. This is one thing that I tell my students as well. The map is not there to make your life difficult or make your journey more complex. Actually, the map is there to help us navigate ourselves. The map is essentially there to tell us what we can or cannot do to preserve the safety of ourselves and the safety of others on the road. Let's take a look at some of these route rules which are going to be useful in the question that we are solving right now. So first of all, you can see here that in the special routes, we have the representation or the symbol of tunnels on the map. So once you see something like this, it is a little bit different to what an ordinary expressway might look like, because although it has everything similar, the yellow colored road with black boundaries, but what's different between an expressway and a tunnel is that it has stripped white lines in between them. So as soon as you start seeing stripped white lines in between something that looks like an expressway, you should immediately understand that this is exactly where the tunnel is starting or ending on the map, because when you see the strip lines are starting, that's exactly where the tunnel is starting from. And then when the something like this changes into something exactly like this, then it means the tunnel has ended. Similarly, central reservation is going to play a very important role in understanding how we can keep ourselves safe from not taking any forbidden turns. We might see dead ends, railway lines crossing through, and also one more important thing, and in this question particularly actually very important is roads on top of each other. So let's take a look at them while solving the question. I really hope that topographical route rules and explaining some of these things to you makes sense, and it will help you to understand this question while I will be solving it in a more clearer fashion. And also, I cannot put enough emphasis on the fact that at serupractice.com we try to teach our student all these little important details in such a way that even if they see a question which they have never seen before, they can still easily navigate from the green marker to red marker. Now that we have developed an understanding about topographical route rules, I don't think there is anything stopping us from actually solving this route. Let's solve it together. So the first thing we need to do is to remove all the unnecessary lines. And as I told you in the beginning, that whenever you have a tunnel-based question, or even not a tunnel-based question, generally just a very long and complex route, it is very ideal that you should divide this route into smaller milestones so that it is easy for us to navigate and not forget exactly what kind of checkpoints we had made to successfully go from our starting point to our destination. So for instance, in this case, as I showed you in the earlier, that our first objective is to reach at this roundabout so that we can enter inside the tunnel. So that is exactly what we are going to do. Starting from Corbetts Lane, this is already the left hand side. We also want to drive here, then we can take a turn on this street, arriving here, draw straight neat lines in such a fashion just like you drive your car. So whenever we are driving our car on a straight line, we can go straight without steering ourselves, but whenever we are taking turns, sharper turns, or turns like in this area, we can tilt our lines a little bit just like we move our car a little bit, and we can do that by drawing smaller lines. Also, another important tip is to keep a healthy distance, and I always say this, to keep a distance between the boundary of the road, the left hand side's boundary of the road, and the middle of the road, because this is the only area which is assigned to the traffic which is going in the same direction as you. The other side is assigned or designated for the traffic that is coming from the other side. So here you can see there is a central reservation. This concept seems to be very tricky for some students, other understands it more easily, but central reservation is something of huge importance. And I think everybody who is trying to take exam for topographical route planning assessment should understand what central reservation is and how it functions. So right now, as you can see, that we have crossed the roundabout and we have arrived at Tunnel Approach Road. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier, that you can see that normally it looks like any expressway, but here you start seeing the strip lines. And that means that now at this very stage, we are inside Rotherhite Tunnel. So as the name suggests, tunnels, we all have seen them. They are always underground. So you can here essentially consider that this yellow colored road is on the ground, and below this road, underground, is Rotherhite Tunnel. So right now we are passing below the B205 road, and we are inside Rotherhite Tunnel. So all of this other area as well, which you can see on the map, it is above us, it is on the ground level, and we are beneath it. So arriving here inside the tunnel, as I previously mentioned, it is just like any other road. Here there are a lot of students who get confused because this looks like a little bit of a shaggy area. What's happening here is that, just like the example that I gave you in this area, that we have a road that is on top and the tunnel is beneath it. Just like that, a highway A1203 is on the surface of ground, right? If this highway is directly merging into Limehouse Link. We will solve this tunnel as well in the next video. So please keep yourself updated whenever we upload a new video, because we are trying to solve as many route questions as possible for the viewers. Coming back to the point, the highway itself is on the ground and we are in the tunnel that is beneath this highway. So You don't need to worry if I am on the wrong route, if I'm touching the highway. You just need to worry about one thing: your own boundary. What do I mean by that? I'm just going to stop this drawing here for a moment to tell you that, for example, this is the boundary of the highway, right? This section and this section. Similarly, these dotted lines which are coming all across the tunnel, this is our boundary right now because we are inside the tunnel. So we just have to make sure that we remain on in between the boundary of our tunnel and not diverge ourselves onto the highway, which will be wrong. I hope it makes sense. Now let's continue our journey inside the tunnel. So look here that this is the highway going around like this. This is the other boundary of the highway, and this was the tunnel that we are inside, and this is going in this direction. Similarly, this side is like this, connecting here. So we have to make sure that we remain inside the tunnel, and even if in between that it looks like I am touching the boundary of the road, but no, because we are not on the road, so it does not matter if our line is touching it. Just the same example, you can see it more clearly here as well, that Butcher Road is connected with highway and it is on the ground. It's not part of the tunnel. That means even when we are drawing this line, we are not on Butcher Way, we are not touching it from any perspective or angle. We are just continuing our journey inside this tunnel, which is still a tunnel until this point. When you have arrived at Tunnel Approach Road, then the tunnel has essentially ended. Now we can get out of the tunnel. And yes, you have guessed right. We are not going to take Commercial Road for this. In fact, we are going to take Butcher's Road because we know it is connected with the highway. Here you can see there is a symbol that is coming from this road. It indicates that from starting from this point, this is a one way and you can enter into the Butcher's Road. But as you can see, it is on half of the road in between this boundary and the middle of the road. So that means we still have this side available to ourselves, and we can use this side of the Butcher's Road, which is our left hand side, and we need to keep left on a two-way road. So we are not breaking any rules and we can come back on highway. And by the looks of the journey, you can see that how we have started from this point, arriving inside the tunnel, then getting out of the tunnel and then taking a road which was above it so that we can come back on highway. I hope it all makes sense instead of making things more complex or complicated. So here we will continue again. You can see that I have touched the boundary, but yes, it is not the boundary of the highway. It is the boundary of the tunnel. And now it looks like the tunnel is beneath us. We are on the highway. So even if our line is kind of like very close to or touching the boundary, but it is not going to be regarded as a mistake because we are not on the tunnel now. Now the boundary that we need to respect is the boundary of the highway. We should not touch this one. And coming here, I believe I can go straight inside, touch my red marker, which is my destination, make sure that everything is correct. If I am happy with the route I have drawn, I can press the stop drawing button. Thank you for watching. We regularly share videos to help you prepare for your PHV driver's license and TfL assessments, including SERU, speaking and listening, and topographical route planning. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit bell icon so you don't miss any future updates. To learn more, visit our website serupractice.com, where you will find everything you need to prepare with confidence. We have helped thousands of students pass their tests, many with the scores over 90%. You can see some of their recent pass certificates on our websites. We also offer one-on-one topographical lessons with experienced instructors available in English, Urdu, Hindi, Bangla, Farsi, and Pashto. Don't just take our word for it. We have over 50 genuine Facebook reviews with a 100% positive feedback rate from real students. Also, while on the go, don't forget to follow TfL Tests on Facebook. If you have any questions, message us on WhatsApp using the number on your screen, or you can call us directly at 020-3965-7202 or visit our website www.serupractice.com. We are here to help. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next video.